Water is life, but in many communities in the 5 regions of the north, water is a luxury. According to Ghana's latest population and housing census, more than 32% of households in the northern region lack access to basic drinking water. In Upper East, it's even worse, nearly 34%. This means 1 out of every 3 families relies on unsafe and distant sources to survive.
The daughters complain of the source of water, but we have no option.
He says, "So ye need so ye benum. When kwana so we ye benum. Nkwala su wuro
San so we ya na edi aduane, san so we ya na enum. Ono na edi sini ma mmoa no so saa. Ya sere saa ban no se won boa ye. O nsuo hu kura o mu fie.
Water in this part of the country is not a right. It is a daily battle fought by citizens. Despite years of promises and millions in investment, safe water remains a dream. The One Village, One Dam project was meant to fix this. But many dams are shallow, broken and never worked at all. What was promised as hope now feels like betrayal.
We are doing 560 for a start and it's up to 2020. I believe by early next year, all these dams will be completed.
My name is Nana Boachi Dankwe, and in this documentary, I uncover how years of promises and investment to provide safe, potable water to northern Ghana have remained elusive, leaving children, women, and farmers still fighting daily to quench their thirst.
This is the Nantongpa Omu Dam, serving 3 communities, huge communities in the Tamale North constituency. The scarcity of water in the community is a worry to the residents. 3 communities are depending on this particular dam. It is a raining-fed dam, and it dries up during the dry season. It is expected to dry up completely in less than 3 weeks, and this is the worry that residents go through to get water. When this dam dries up totally or really turns muddy, they have to travel miles to fetch water. With my gallon here, I am done with mine. The scarcity of water in the north is a worry.
In Bupe, the search for water is a daily gamble. Mary Jagba, a mother of 2, walks several kilometers towards the overflowing banks of the White Volta. She carries the weight of this yellow basin along with a deep sense of frustration. This is where she fetches water, milky, unsafe and full of risk. She uses it to cook, bathe her children, and the entire family drinks this water.
Mary
and her family have been to the clinic too many times. Diarrhea, skin rashes, stomach pain. She knows the water is hurting her family, but there is no alternative.
Na just so ni bini gun so we mu ye sa ye gusu dum ye nim kwan de be fa so anya so we ade aye aduane no so
I see people coming in with even more complicated issues like typhoid fever. And because we don't have good enough, our immune systems for a lot of people living in these communities is pretty low because they are not getting the first diet as has been advised. So any small infection builds muscle to affect them worse than, let's say, if somebody with a good immunity drank the same amount of water. So because of that, they come and we find people dying from something that could be preventable.
Now we are record hospital. We say typhoid insuno. Insuno ni binti sana insuno. Just say you call doctor ni na sa na omu kachire. Say insuno na wo problem mai. Kamu sesia na nantwe no anka omu anko yuro mo hu se nantwe kura be wurum. Obi no metu sisa adwan be gum. Oba hu so asa oba sa de akofi. Ibi ni bebi bi.
The people here are known for their warmth and generosity. But today, even visitors like me are not offered the usual food or drink. There's simply not enough water to share. And when there is, it is often unsafe to give in good faith.
The food here, the Kazambos, I did your mother to the Cocoa Jacan. On the Beco from Ayako. Quarter bien. Come I in Allah, Adaku.
He said, having arrived at his palace, the wives should have prepared breakfast for us, but there's no water. So how do they prepare the breakfast?
Hey, now I'm not a problem with the tower. No, you put your coffee.
Even though Ghana has committed to the UN Sustainable Development Goal on clean water for all, nearly 4 out of every 10 rural households still rely on unsafe water, ponds, rivers, or open dams, often shared with animals.
I'm never born come. No could you could pump when I was all. The empowerment from no born come Suma. Mama Suma comes for come mechanic.
They spend all their time at the dam or looking for water. So it means that any other activity they are supposed to be taking that is income related is suspended because you have to get the water. And the last one, he says that their children are unable to go to school most of the time because they spend time looking for water to keep them clean before they go.
But the most I could get the shell.
This dam, built over 2 decades ago, is the only source of water for Grumon and nearby villages. It is the only dam that saw them through the harsh drought of 2005. But it has not been dredged or expanded since it was built, and now it is failing them.
During dry season, residents struggle to get water, and the only water that is left in the dam in the dry season is not something that can be used for domestic purposes.
At the chief's palace, Alhassan Musa sits with a heavy heart. His voice carries the pains of his community members. He speaks not only for water shortages, but of private struggles.
Come back to Kum. There was Mother or Deep Tam. Come by Cambabe outdoor. Carlacana, Paiku Wester, and to do no bon quam. Yemen Dam.
Even when it comes to sex, because when you have sex, there's no water to bath, and this is affecting their relationships.
No bon come Suma. Mama Suma comes for Cumberma. Come mechanic. Baben shoe.
Across northern Ghana, nearly 1 in 5 households spends more than 30 minutes just to fetch water. In the most remote areas, that journey can stretch to several hours, costing children their time, strength, and sometimes their education.
This is still the Chifonyiri community. There are 2 surviving dams. The first dam that is totally dried up and this, which is the only surviving dam at the moment. This is the dam that 11 communities depend on. It might look huge, but it doesn't have the best quality to serve the community. They wash here and use it for other domestic purposes, and they drink it.
It is a Monday morning here at Chirifuyili. Children are leading donkeys and dragging gallons. Their mission is to find water for their homes. The nearest dam here is bone dry.
Ahaya niso yene nanchin nyina yenum nso baako. Nso no nso bibi anso no dan na hanso kwanchi wan wakakra. Ansana nso tiwa yemfa na say barisa na ti ho no 390 no. Ne ye wasa hawo no. Isi ayi wa ho no yemfa na say ankora baako a ti ho no say ankora baako ye 10 cedi. You buy tosa more than 590 ansana nso ato.
The second dam, the only source of water for 11 communities, is a 2-hour journey for most residents. Those who can make the journey haul enough for their entire household.
The news about the whole format, apart from Casina or Danuano, and some poor or do be even poor 19 would the body so the allo. No idea, answer over to man, wouldn't pour over 19 toilets in a bazaar.
From the old dam to this place will take you more than 45 minutes. So they all have to move from the old dam to depend on this, which they say is not helping them.
At the dam, we met children gathering around its muddy banks, packed bikes stretched along the shore. Over 200 cattle jostle for space, stirring the water with hooves and more.
Kuro 11 na enum sa nso baako no ansa na kurase obi na wo nantwi fulano fo no nso to mo mbi na ha ba nso tiwa apart from nso kase a wo fa daboya de wo fa yeji nso no wo fa ha wo ha apart from no na wo nso a nso bia mbi na ha o na ha nso ye 30 miles. Sound maybe I said down to yes, I fly for our chef in Fino. Omunina Baba, and see I walk on about this and walk or hoa. Ubaka and more than 200 on doors, so see I won't. Then you know, no so.
In districts like Tolon, Damango, and Savelugu, over a quarter of hospital cases are linked to diarrhea or waterborne diseases. Health workers say children are the most affected, many with chronic infections.
Typhoids, if managed well, do not need to complicate to perforations, but there are seasons in BMC that we have a typhoid season. That time you are just doing exploratory laparotomies to repair typhoid perforations, usually in children. A lot of them, children and the aged, typhoid perforations. It shouldn't be so. and it comes from the drinking water. You can't expect to excrete in water and still drink that same water.
Promises have come and gone from 7 companies, from politicians past and present, all pledging portable water. But the only thing flowing here is disappointment.
Now, for the present time, we're 2 amount for Accra. No, Oma Baha. Obamniti MP. Na DC. What this campaign for by you do Omoko, Chima, Ahana, Nuhan, or say Nuhan, or Bayana Cassie, Nansuno to me beam chrome. No, Nina, or Cosifi. And say, the Embacana say, your bomb pay say, or be out by we NGO, present to Nimpa over to my P, over to my voice, na Yenya Hunter dia, Yenin Badi. Name conforming Nina, Kuromni Nina, and Bajise, who to me by boy and so summer.
So, even though our dams are dry, even though our water bodies are scarce, people are still living here. So, it's not about being scared of the future, it's about what we can do in the future.
In Datoyili, the pipes are there, but nothing flows through them. This small dam is the lifeline for 5 communities. Rain feeds it, but the rains do not come often enough anymore. Every day, a line of tricycle arrives, loaded with empty jerrycans. They wait their turn to pump water from the edge, keeping feet out of the water, thanks to a small pump system meant to reduce contamination. Umar Abubakar is the caretaker of the Datoyili Dam. His job? Keep cattle out, keep the water clean, try to make it last.
Drive the cattle away, only the goats and the distance, the sheep that we allowing to get, but the cattle, we drive them away.
But now, the water is running low. Tankers that used to draw water from here to sell in town have been stopped so that locals can have something left to drink. Even farmers are told to stop irrigating. The crops are wilting, but the people must drink first.
Even though when you come, there's cars, there will be a cars here, but because the water is running down, we tell the vehicles to go to Nyankpara Dam so that the motor kings and the women carrying the same, they will come here and fetch.
Before the school day begins, the learning already suffers. Across the Paumo community in the Tamale North constituency, children rise before dawn to fetch water from distant and muddy dams. They walk several kilometers for water that is brown, thick and unfit for drinking, but it is all they have. Instead of sitting in classrooms, most children spend their mornings balancing jerrycans on their heads, others on their bicycles. By the time they return, they are already late, hungry and tired.
I use it for cooking.
And why do you use this for cooking?
Because water is not here again. Only this water is around.
Your parents have asked you to come and fetch water?
Yes.
For the mothers here, water is the first item on the day's agenda. They cannot prepare breakfast or bathe their children until the receptacles are filled. Cooking, cleaning, preparing for school, all of it depends on how early they reach the dam and how long the queue is.
When we get up early in the morning, unless you come and fetch that early, that dirty water here, and the water is not good for us. But we don't know how to do, because if you don't come and fetch it, where will you get water? Unless you come and fetch that water and go in bath, drinking, cooking, and everything. As now, my children are still sleeping because I'm supposed to wake them up to bath them, but there's no water unless I look for water before I come and bath them for them to go to school. So can't you see the way I'm busy? They are still sleeping on the bed unless I went home and wake them up.
This dam, shared by humans and animals, is the only source of water for the people of Baumo. It is murky and it is not enough.
You people know the water is not good, but we are drinking it because we don't know how to do. Sometimes you manage a minute, but you don't know how to do unless you just come and fetch that water and bath and drink and cook too.
Nantongpa Umo, Taha, and then that of Boyele. As you can see, you could realize that you can see people from 3 different ends fetching. The other people are the other end of the dam. We have some other people here. Some are going this way. So those who are going this way, they are coming from Taha. Those who are going this way, they are coming from Nantongpa Umo. Those who are going this way, they are coming from Boyele. That is why you see them fetching in different edges of the dam. As you can see, when it rains, the dam fill up to this level where the erosion has indeed eat up. You can see the end. So the dam as it is not all that a big dam, that's off. But it is only relies solely on rain. It's a rain fed dam. Once the rain stops, definitely the dam will automatically stop feeding or getting water in the dry season.
Assembly member Abdul Fattah Yaya says the water crisis is not only a health emergency, it has serious implications for the education of the children.
When you go to the chief's compound here, most of their records, perennial or annual records that they record, most of the diseases that they diagnose patients with are typical of waterborne related diseases. So it's something that we are not really happy about. But what then do we do? Because that is our only source of water for drinking and other related uses.
This is Glunyasi in the Nandom North District. Everyone uses this dam. Children, women and livestock. There is no choice. Hundreds of cattle plunge into the dam daily, splashing through the water. Their hooves churn up the mud. Their waste spreads freely. They drink, they urinate, some defecate right where they stand. Minutes later, the shepherd walks up with a plastic bottle. He does not flinch. He dips his bottle into the muddy water and drinks from the same spot the animals just fouled. Doctors at the Baptist Medical Center say typhoid fever has become common in the north.
The issue of water is not just water, it's also water and sanitation. People don't have pit latrines. People don't have, they do free range defecation. So at the time they are doing the free range, they feel that it's okay, I'm comfortable, air is passing through. But in the rainy season, it washes all that into the water bodies and people go and fetch. So you don't know that what you did earlier is what you are drinking now. So it's that, for that reason, when you actually expect that there shouldn't be any issues because now it's raining and there's water, but rather that is the period where you get the influx of typhoid cases because the poo-poo in the water is concentrated, excuse my French, it's concentrated in the water. So the little you drink is going to affect you more.
It is still dark in Savelugu, but the day has not begun for many here.
So it's 20 minutes to the top of the hour, 5 a.m. and on our way from Tamale to Nalerugu in the northeast region, we've made a stop at Kpong. Guess what? We've seen people who are rushing for water as at 5 a.m. That is because this pipe you see here is the only source of water in the Kpong community, and they all depend on it. The last time they had water was about 4 days ago. The situation is dying.
This is Adiza. She's about 6 months pregnant and she's been here since 4:30 a.m. Here, the water does not run all day. It flows early and briefly. If you miss it, you miss everything. She does this every morning, not just for herself, but for her children. She wants them clean and ready for school, even if it means depriving herself of sleep.
If you look at the small towns, for instance, likely there are some international organizations, some development organizations that are there supporting with sanitation and water. But unfortunately, this is not free. There are conditions attached to it. Most of the community members have to go and get a loan from the bank, and they have to pay with interest before some of these development organizations can come and support them. So it also has to do with vulnerability and poverty.
The truth is hard. If the water problem continues, we will lose more children, not just to diseases, but to lost opportunity. Girls will drop out of school, families will stay trapped in poverty, and entire communities will remain cut off from the rest of the country, not by borders, but by thirst.
I think there need to be expansion of the water system. The government really need to invest in the sector so that they can expand on the water system. The service provider also needs to be resourced, because if they are well resourced, they are able to expand the distribution network. Then they'll be able to get revenue to maintain their systems, and they can also further extend to other places.
So we are hoping that in the very near future, the leadership, the government as well as the leadership, they should try and do something so that they can improve the living conditions of the people, to also have some fair share of the national cake.
Clean water cannot continue to be luxury. It is a right guaranteed by the Constitution, and a responsibility government must uphold for every citizen, no matter where they live. If communities in the north continue to wait, if government continues to look away, then the silence of empty taps will become the loudest betrayal of all. Ghana cannot move forward with one half dry and forgotten, because justice has no postcode and water should have no boundary.